All right, so today we're going to really dig into Killer Mike. Most people know him as a rapper, but our sources today really show that there's just so much more to him.
It's so true.
He's not just making music, he's trying to make a difference.
Absolutely.
We're talking activism, entrepreneurship, even a little bit of controversy along the way.
Yeah, can't forget that.
Yeah, definitely can't forget that.
So what's fascinating to me is like how his journey started. You go back to those early days, like in Adamsville, Atlanta, battling it out with other rappers, honing his skills. And then boom, he's featured on Outkast's Anconia.
Yeah, that's right. Huge collaboration. I mean, it really was a statement. It wasn't just like, oh, here's a feature. It was like, this is Killer Mike.
Right.
This is his voice. It's raw, it's powerful, and people noticed. And then, of course, there's that Grammy win for the whole world with Outkast.
Yeah.
Like solidifying his place, right?
Right. It's just the beginning, though. Monster comes out in 2003. His solo debut really cements him as this force to be reckoned with, especially in Southern hip-hop. I mean, it wasn't just commercial success. It was critical, too.
Yeah, and then he just keeps going. Albums like I Pledge Allegiance to the Grind, under his own label. It shows like a real independent spirit, right? Like really committed to doing things his way.
Absolutely. Building his own empire, staying true to his vision, not just chasing trends. And it's during this time that he really starts to explore those political themes that become really central to his later work.
Yeah, and then Enter LP, Run the Jewels explodes onto the scene. What was it about their sound that made them such a phenomenon?
I think it was his perfect hum. You got Killer Mike's hard-hitting delivery combined with LP's more intricate, I don't know, almost futuristic production style. It was this potent blend of like raw energy and intellectual depth, all wrapped up in these like really tatchy and thought-provoking lyrics. It's like they weren't just making music, they were making a statement, reflecting the anxieties and frustrations of a generation.
And they were tackling those big, complex issues. I mean, those albums, Run the Jewels 2, Run the Jewels 3, RTJ4, they weren't just bangers, they were full of social commentary.
Exactly. They tacked into this raw energy that was like bubbling up in society, addressing issues like police brutality, systemic racism, economic inequality, things that a lot of people were feeling, but maybe didn't have the words for.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made their music so powerful and resonated with so many people.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the music, right? I mean, Killer Mike, outside of Run the Jewels, he was becoming this powerful voice in the fight for social justice. Like that speech he gave after the killing of Michael Brown, incredibly moving.
Oh, for sure. I think that speech was a pivotal moment. He wasn't just a deformer anymore. He was a leader, a voice for a generation. He was raw, he was emotional, and he called for peaceful protest, for systemic change. And it really solidified his place as like a leading voice in the fight for equality.
Yeah, it's clear that he wasn't content to just sit back and let things happen. He actively supported Bernie Sanders, got involved in local politics, really put himself out there pushing for change on multiple fronts.
Yeah, and that's what's so compelling about him. He's not just talking about change, he's actively trying to create it, whether it's through his music, his activism, or even his entrepreneurial ventures.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's interesting how he's taken that drive for change and channeled it into his business ventures, too. I mean, he's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk, putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, he is. That's what's so inspiring about him. He's not just complaining from the sidelines. He's actually trying to create solutions. Like, take his barbershop chain, for example, Graffiti Swag. It's not just about cutting hair. It's about empowering the Black community.
I read that they even have artwork honoring Black historical figures. That's really cool.
Right.
So it's like he's creating a space that's functional and inspiring.
Yeah, exactly. It's a space that celebrates Black history and culture while providing employment opportunities and fostering a sense of community. And then there's Greenwood, the online bank he co-founded, which is specifically targeting Black and Latinx communities.
Oh yeah, Greenwood. Can you tell us a bit more about that? I find that really interesting.
Sure. So you see, traditional banking systems have often failed to serve minority communities adequately, and Killer Mike saw this as a problem and decided to do something about it. Greenwood's mission is to address those systemic financial inequalities head-on, providing access to banking services, financial literacy resources, and investment opportunities that have historically been out of reach for many.
So it's about breaking down those barriers, creating a more level playing field.
Precisely. It's about empowerment, about giving people the tools they need to build wealth. and achieve financial stability. And then you've got his investment in the Bankhead Seafood Restaurant, another example of him supporting Black-owned businesses, pouring resources back into his community.
It all ties together, doesn't it? The musics, the activism, the businesses. It's all connected by this thread of social consciousness, this desire to uplift and empower others. But with all this going on, how does he find the time to do it all?
I think it just comes down to passion and commitment. He's clearly driven by this deep belief in the power of community and this desire to make a tangible difference. And he doesn't limit himself to just one avenue. We see him popping up in movies like Idlewild and Baby Driver. Remember that South Park episode? Hilarious.
Oh yeah, make fish sticks, not diss tracks. Classic. But seriously, he's also hosted some really thought-provoking television shows, like Trigger Warning with Killer Mike, and that Emmy-winning show Love and Respect. And then there's Tumbleweeds, the documentary series about cannabis.
Right, it shows his incredible range. He's comfortable in front of the camera, whether he's dropping knowledge, challenging societal norms, or just exploring interesting subcultures. He's a natural storyteller, able to connect with audiences across different platforms.
Yeah, but let's be real. It hasn't all been smooth sailing. There was that incident at the Grammy a couple of years back. It's a reminder that even with all the success and good intentions, things can get complicated.
Oh, absolutely. You know the incident where he was arrested after an altercation with a security guard, even though the charges were dropped, and he filed a lawsuit for wrongful arrest? It highlights the fact that even someone as influential as Killer Mike is still susceptible to the same issues that plague our society.
Yeah, it shows that the fight for justice and equality is ongoing, and that even those who are fighting for it can become victims of the systems they're trying to change.
Yeah, it's a reminder to be vigilant, to hold those in power accountable, and to never stop pushing for progress. But it also speaks to Killer Mike's resilience. He didn't let that incident derail him. He bounced back stronger than ever. And look at him now, triumphant return to solo music with Michael in 2023.
And not just a return, a triumphant one. 3 Grammy wins, including Best Rap Album, and that incredible track, Scientists and Engineers, with Andre 3000 Future and Aaron Allen Kane taking home Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance. Talk about a comeback story.
It is. It's a testament to his talent, his work ethic, his ability to evolve and stay relevant. But it's also a reminder that sometimes you have to go through the fire to come out even stronger.
And then he surprised everyone with Songs for Sinners and Saints, that gospel album he released with his group, Michael and the Mighty Midnight Revival, showing a whole different side of his musicality.
Yeah, that album was beautiful. It was this exploration of faith, spirituality, the power of music to heal and uplift. It showed that he's not afraid to experiment, to push boundaries, to embrace new creative challenges.
It's been really fascinating to explore all these different facets of Killer Mike's life. He's a man of many talents, with his passion for his community and a drive to make a difference in the world. But what do you think is the most compelling aspect of his journey? What stands out to you the most?
It's hard to pick just one thing. It's the combination of it all. The way he seamlessly weaves together his music, his activism, his entrepreneurial spirit. It's all part of this tapestry of social consciousness, this mission to empower and uplift.
It's like he's building an ecosystem.
Exactly.
Where everything feeds into everything else, creating this cycle of positive change.
Yes, and it's not just about him. It's about inspiring others to do the same. He's a living example of what it means to think globally, act locally. He's tackling big systemic issues while also creating tangible change within his own community.
Yeah, and he does it with this infectious energy and unwavering authenticity. He's not afraid to be himself, to speak his mind, to challenge the status quo.
And that's what makes him so relatable, so human. He's not this perfect, untouchable figure. He's someone who's made mistakes, who's faced adversity, but who's always come out stronger on the other side. It's that resilience, that willingness to keep fighting for what he believes in, that makes him so inspiring.
It makes you wonder what kind of impact someone like Killer Mike can have on culture and society in the long run.
Well, I think his impact is already being felt. He's shifted the conversation. He's inspired countless people. And he's shown that it's possible to use your platform for good, to make a real difference in the world.
And his story is far from over. He's constantly evolving, pushing boundaries, exploring new ways to make an impact. It's exciting to think about what he'll accomplish next.
Absolutely. And it's not just about what he'll do. It's about the ripple effect he's creating. He's inspiring a new generation of artists, activists, and entrepreneurs who are committed to using their voices and their resources to build a better world.
It's like planting seeds.
Yeah.
You never know where they'll land or how they'll grow, but the potential for positive change is immense.
And that's the beauty of it. It's about creating a movement, about empowering others to take action, to step up and make their own contributions.
So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired, who wants to learn more about Killer Mike, or maybe even find ways to get involved in their own communities, what would you recommend?
Well, first and foremost, dive into his music, listen to his lyrics, feel the energy, and let his words ignite your own passion for change.
And then take that inspiration and channel it into action. Look around your own community and see where you can make a difference. Support local organizations, volunteer your time, or start your own initiative.
Yeah. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. It's about taking small steps, being consistent, and working together to create a better future.
This deep dive into Killer Mike's world has been an incredible journey. From his roots in Atlanta to his Grammy wins, his activism, his entrepreneurial ventures, and even those moments of controversy. It's been a testament to his resilience, his creativity, and his unwavering commitment to making a difference.
He's shown us that it's not about waiting for someone else to lead the way. It's about stepping up, using our voices, and working together to create the world we want to live in.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've learned something new, felt inspired, and maybe even discovered a new artist to add to your playlist.
Remember, change starts with each of us. So go out there, make your voice heard, and make a difference in your own way. You know, it's interesting how he takes that drive for change and channels it into his business ventures, too.
Yeah.
He's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk, like putting his money where his mouth is.
Right.
And it's so inspiring to see. He's not just sitting on the sidelines complaining. He's trying to create solutions. Take his barbershop chain, for example, Graffiti Swag. It's not just about cutting hair, it's about empowering the Black community.
I read that they even have artwork honoring Black historical figures, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like he's creating this space that's both functional and inspiring at the same time.
Exactly. A space that celebrates Black history and culture while providing employment opportunities and fostering a sense of community. And then you have Greenwood, the online bank he co-founded, targeting Black and Latinx communities.
Oh yeah, Greenwood. That's right. I forgot about that. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So basically, traditional banking systems, they haven't always served minority communities that well.
Right.
Killer Mike recognized that and decided to do something about it. So Greenwood's whole mission is to address these systemic financial inequalities, providing access to banking services, financial literacy resources, and investment opportunities that historically haven't been available to many.
So it's all about breaking down those barriers and creating a more level playing field.
Exactly. It's about empowerment, giving people the tool they need to build wealth and achieve financial stability.
Okay.
And then you've also got his investment in the Bankhead Seafood Restaurant, another example of supporting Black-owned businesses, putting resources back into the community.
It all ties together, doesn't it? The music, the activism, the businesses. It's all connected by this thread of social consciousness, this desire to uplift and empower others. But with all of this going on, how does he find the time to do it all?
Well, I think it comes down to passion and commitment. I mean, he's clearly driven by a deep belief in the power of community and a desire to make a difference that people can really see. And he doesn't limit himself to just one avenue. You see him popping up in movies like Idlewild and Baby Driver. Remember that South Park episode?
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
Make fish sticks, not diss tracks. Oh, man, that's a classic.
But seriously, he's also hosted these thought-provoking TV shows like Trigger Warning with Killer Mike and that Emmy-winning show Love and Respect.
Right.
And then there's Tumbleweeds, the documentary series about cannabis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so it just shows his range. He's comfortable in front of the camera, whether he's dropping knowledge, challenging society norms, or just exploring those interesting subcultures. He's just a natural storyteller, able to connect with audiences on all these different platforms.
Yeah, but it hasn't all been smooth sailing. I mean, there was that incident at the Grammys a couple of years back. It's a reminder that even with all the success and good intentions, things can get complicated.
Oh, for sure. That incident where he was arrested after that altercation with a security guard, even though the charges were ultimately dropped and he filed a lawsuit for wrongful arrest, it really highlights that even someone as influential as Killer Mike is still vulnerable to the same problem that we see in our society.
Right. It shows that the fight for justice and equality is ongoing, and even those who are on the front lines can become victims of the very systems they're trying to change.
Yeah, and it's a reminder to always be vigilant, to hold those in power accountable, and never stop pushing for progress. But it also speaks to Killer Mike's resilience. He didn't let that incident define him. He bounced back stronger than ever. And look at him now, triumphant return to solo music with Michael in 2023.
What a comeback. 3 Grammy wins, including Best Rap Album. And that track, Scientists and Engineers, with Andre 3000 Future and Aaron Allen Kane winning Best Rap Song and Best Rap Performance.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a real testament to his talent, his work ethic, his ability to evolve and stay relevant. It's a reminder that sometimes you have to go through tough times to come out even stronger on the other side.
And then he just surprises everyone with Songs for Sinners and Saints, that gospel album he released, with his group Michael and the Mighty Midnight Revival, showing a completely different side of his musicality.
Yeah, that album was beautiful. This exploration of faith, spirituality, and the power of music to heal and uplift. It shows that he's not afraid to experiment, to push boundaries, to embrace new creative challenges.
Yeah. It's been really fascinating to explore all these different parts of Killer Mike's life. He's clearly a man of many talents, with a deep passion for his community, and a real drive to make a difference in the world. What do you think is the most compelling aspect of his journey? What stands out to you the most?
Oh man, it's hard to choose just one thing. It's like the whole package, the way he blends his music, his activism, his businesses. It's all part of this bigger picture, this idea of giving back and lifting people up.
Yeah, it's like he's creating this whole ecosystem
Right.
where everything works together and creates this cycle of positive change.
Exactly. And it's not just about him either. It's about inspiring others to do the same thing. He's a perfect example of think globally, act locally, taking on these huge systemic issues while also making a really difference in his own community.
And he does it with so much energy.
Right.
And he's just so genuine, not afraid to be himself or speak his mind or challenge the status quo.
Yeah, and that's what makes him so relatable, so human. He's not this perfect, untouchable celebrity. He's made mistakes, he's faced challenges, but he always comes out stronger. It's that resilience, that determination to keep fighting for what he believes in. That makes him so inspiring.
Yeah, it really makes you think, what kind of impact can someone like Killer Mike have on culture and society in the long run?
Well, I think we're already seeing his impact. I mean, he's changed the conversation. He's inspired so many people. He's shown that you can use your platform to do good, to make a real difference.
And his story's not over yet.
Not even close.
He's constantly evolving and pushing boundaries, finding new ways to make an impact. He's excited to think about what he'll do next.
It really is. And it's not just about what they'll do. It's about the ripple effect. He's inspiring this whole new generation of artists, activists, entrepreneurs who want to use their voices and their resources to build a better world.
It's like planting seeds.
Yeah.
You don't know where they'll land or how they'll grow, but the potential is huge.
It is. It's beautiful, really. It's about creating a movement, giving people the power to take action, to step up and make their own contributions.
So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired, who wants to learn more about Killer Mike, or maybe even find ways to get involved in their own communities, what would you recommend?
Well, first of all, listen to his music. Really listen to the lyrics, feel the energy, let his words spark something in you.
And then take that inspiration and do something with it. Look around your community, see where you can make a difference. Support local groups, volunteer your time, maybe even start your own project.
Exactly. Just remember, change takes time. It's about those small steps, being consistent, working together to create a better future.
Well, this deep dive into Killer Mike's world has been amazing. From his beginnings in Atlanta to those Grammy wins, his activism, his businesses, even those times when things got tough. It's a real testament to his resilience, his creativity, his commitment to making a difference.
He's shown us that we don't have to wait for someone else to lead. We can all step up, use our voices, and work together to create the world we want.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you learned something new, felt inspired, and maybe even discovered some new music to check out.
Remember, change starts with each of us, so go out there, make your voice heard, and make a difference in your own way.